about businesses that are high performing, that make them stand out from their competitors? What is it about businesses like ours really that really trailblaze and set the path that makes them successful? And I think one of the overriding factors is the culture of that business and its ability to select people who share its vision and values. Great companies of the world have people that have a great psychological contract with them. It's not about the policy and a bit of paper. It's about inspiring people who think like them to work with them. And so I think one of the things we need to look at when we look at family-friendly enterprises is how embedded is it really in that business? Do we really believe passionately that by introducing cultural diversity, gender diversity, that we can create opportunities in business? And that's what I try and help people to do in their own businesses. From my own personal experience, I broke the system. When I had my little boy, I was young, I'm 18 when I had my little boy. He was born at 26 weeks. There's an all he was £1 8 ounces, that's slightly less than a bag of sugar, and was the same size as an Action Man, just to put this into some context for you. And my employer at the time, and I was only doing a part-time call centre role, my employer at the time said, "You can't have maternity leave yet. You're not allowed maternity leave until you're 28 weeks pregnant." And I said, "Well, he's here. He's arrived. I can't put him back. We tried that. What's it going to work? What do you want me to do for 2 weeks?" So I went on the sick. I was laid off work on the sick. It was an interesting time, I can say. My little boy was in hospital for 3.5 months, so the opportunity to go back to work was restricted, certainly for that period. I also, when he came home from hospital, he still had some medical needs, and I work a lot with parent carers, parents who've got children with disabilities. And quite often that brings another element into the mix, because the traditional nursery or the traditional childcare provider panics a bit when you turn up with an oxygen tank and heart monitoring equipment and such like. They're used to bottles and nappies, and that throws a spanner in the works. So I had some decisions to make at that time in my life as a young new mum. I was a single parent as well, just to add to the joys of it all. And it was at that point that I made a decision to embark on a management career. So up until this point, there was no degree, there was no career path in place. But it made sense to me to provide for my son, to be an inspiration. I wanted him to grow up to respect the role of a woman in the household. I didn't want him to think that, women should be provided for in the traditional sense, but that we were equal and empowered to be equal. So that's when I went to university, did my degree, decided that the best way to showcase how brilliant women could be was to be as brilliant as I could be, regardless of my situation. And I hope that as he grows up, he will see that actually that's a possibility for anybody. I think that now, as he's aged 10, it's normal for him. I do have a partner now, and we have 2 more children in the relationship also, who are both older, and I think that they do see that my partner and I have equally important roles in the house in terms of who does the washing up, who picks the Hoover up on a Sunday morning, but who earns the money. It's an equal partnership in our world, and that's one that I am proud of, and I hope that our boys will go on to look for in their future relationships as well. So that's a quick summary of my experiences of the world, but my hope for the future is that we find ways to make enterprising businesses profitable, and that includes focus on diversity and empowerment for people who have maybe not had the most traditional course.
Thank you very much, Aimee, for this very interesting background to also how you've turned a situation which was quite difficult in your life to actually give you the stimulus to go forward and have a path in what you are passionate about, but also what you like to see change. So that is quite inspirational.